Yesterday was a very interesting day for Marvel. Yesterday, not only was Ant-Man 3 officially announced, now they haven't put down a solid date, I don't believe, but Peyton Reed, aka the guy who did the first two Ant-Mans, also did Anchorman, by the way, the original Anchorman, both the Anchorman. So, just to let you know that, like Peyton Reed's got a pretty interesting resume. He's got a comedy background. He's worked with Paul Rudd for years, so just to let you know that, guys. But Ant-Man 3 is coming. It's happening. I'm excited about that. I loved Ant-Man. I absolutely love Ant-Man. It's one of the most underrated Marvel movies of all time. I thought Ant-Man and the Wasp was a tiny bit of a step down, but I still enjoyed it. Still had a great time with it. I gave it like an 8. I still think it's a solid, fun sequel and a solid, fun superhero movie. It's a fun time to go at the movie theaters. It's a nice time to just go, relax, and have a good time. It's not like a turn off your brain movie like Venom, but it's just a fun movie to just have a good time with. It's not exactly asking you to sit down and think about the moral quandaries of the world, but it's not, it's not asking you to turn your brain off. Like it's just a solid, fun comic book movie. And a lot of people were worried about Ant-Man. His contributions to the MCU have been major. Introducing the quantum realm that eventually ended up being the thing that saved the day in Endgame. Hell, Ant-Man's the one who came up with the idea of a time heist. He was one of the biggest players in that movie, figuratively and literally. He was literally the biggest player in that movie. Like he was the big player in that movie. He came up with the idea. He pushed forward. He's a thief. So he came up with a lot of this stuff. Like he was behind the scenes, man. He was doing work. So and when Endgame took place 5 years later, and his daughter grew up 5 years, she went from, I believe she's 11, so now she's like 16. Or if she was 12, she's 17. Probably 17. Let's go with 17. She's like 17 now. So it's like, yo, man. So his daughter's bigger, and everyone was like, oh, well, great, because comic book fans like me and you know that his daughter grows up to be a superhero called Stature. I believe she's just called Stature because she can only grow. Yeah, Ant-Man can shrink and grow. She can only grow. That's why she's called Stature. But, yeah, his daughter grows up to become Stature. One of the Young Avengers. So we all were like, okay, I see where you're going here. And so we were like, there has to be another Ant-Man. All the movies get trilogies. Ant-Man, now granted, Ant-Man is definitely on the low total poll. It's probably because it makes the least amount of money of all the trilogies. It's made the least amount of money. I mean, it's made over $1 billion combined, though. It's made about $1.5 billion combined, because the first one made about $540. It had a low budget, though. It had like $100 million budget. Like, it cost about $120 to make, but it made about $540. It made like $540, maybe $580, something like that. Something in the highs. Sequel made $6 something. Sequel made like $634 or something like that. So, it made about the same. The sequel made almost $100 million more than the original, so it made like $680. So yeah, both the movies combined have made over $1 billion. It's a $1 billion. It's a profitable franchise. It's just not as profitable. Some people kind of come at it and go, "Oh well, look at this." It's like no. The Ant-Man movies are made for a little bit less than than all the other movies, really, than the Thor movies and the Spider-Man movies and the Iron Man movies, the Avengers movies. Hell, it's made less. It's made for less than even Black Panther. So the Ant-Man movies are made for less, and they do make less. And they usually Marvel wants to get around the 700 and the 800 range usually. And the Ant-Man movies have only really gotten to the sequel Ant-Man movie. I'm pretty sure Marvel were looking at 700 something. So technically, it didn't really meet that match, but it still was a profitable movie. And Ant-Man is such a big deal. He's such a big player in the MCU that I'm happy to see that he's getting his due. He's getting his sequel. And I saw some people like, oh, they should have put it on Disney Plus. I'm like, no. Give him his fucking due. Give him his fucking movie, okay? I'm excited for that. It's going to be a good movie. It could set up more West Coast Avengers stuff because they're on the West Coast. Ant-Man is on the West Coast, over in San Francisco. You get to see Stature. I'm curious what happened to... I'm curious what happened to Luis and them. Oh my God. I just thought of something. Okay, follow me here, people. Luis loves to tell stories. Anyone who's seen the Ant-Man movie knows Luis goes on his huge story benders. If Luis survived the snap and he went 5 years, can you imagine the story he's gonna have? Oh my God, it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be insane. I can't wait to see Luis. I can't wait to see the whole ex-con gang back. I can't wait to see Maggie and her husband and see what they think about how everything went. I can't wait to see all that stuff, man. I can't wait to see because it's gonna be hilarious. Like they're gonna take that Spider-Man Homecoming thing when they were talking about this guy and bump it up like 15 notches. So I can't wait to see what that turns out like. Plus, if you really think about it, they're really setting up the Young Avengers because you got Matt, you got his daughter. Who's older now and can be a major player, can be an Avenger. You also got Marvel trying to do Kate Bishop, so that's coming. You got Yelena Belova. She's the younger sister. I think like they're not little sister, but she's younger. She's the younger sister of Natasha, and she's probably gonna take the Black Widow mantle. You got Peter Parker, obviously, young Peter Parker. Like, they got some stuff going on, man, with these young characters being introduced, man. Like, I'm like, y'all about to do a Young Avengers, aren't you? Young Avengers. I mean, granted, like, so far, the only members of the Young Avengers I see are all other girls, which, I mean, I don't got a big deal with that, but I'm just saying, I'm just pointing out what I'm seeing. It'd be like Spider-Man is the leader of, like, the Young Avengers. They gotta introduce another Young Avenger, though. I don't know who. I haven't seen a hints to anything. But we'll see. But yeah, so they're setting up them Young Avengers pretty well. I can't wait to see how that goes. But I'm totally excited for Ant-Man 3. You guys know I love the Ant-Man series. I gave the first one a 9. I gave the second one an 8. I thought it was a lower movie, but I still thought it was a good movie. I'm excited. Now, the other bit of news, Sony announced Into the Spider-Verse. Now, this does have a concrete date, 2020. Now, okay, maybe I don't remember the date, but I know it's coming out in 2022. So, we got a couple years from now for it to go. I'm a bit nervous about this. And the thing is, no one else is nervous because everyone just magically got this faith in Sony. Where did this come from? Please, someone in the comments, one of my subscribers, please answer this question for me. I'm going to give you a moment. Answer this question for me. Where in the fuck did all this faith in Sony come from? All reports, everyone I've ever seen who are close to this shit have said the same thing about Spider-Verse. That Sony didn't have faith in it, didn't care about Spider-Verse, and that's why it did so good. Because they didn't care about it, they didn't really put a lot of marketing behind it, which is why it didn't make as much money as it should have, because it was a phenomenal movie. But they didn't put any marketing, they didn't really put as much marketing behind it, because they were putting marketing in an Emoji Movie. They didn't give a fuck about it, and that's why it worked so well, because they weren't hands-on. Now they're gonna be hands-on. That's why I'm like, I don't know why everyone's so excited, because last time I saw a movie, like, the last time I saw a movie like this, that a studio was more hands-on with, after it was successful, was the Lego Movie. Do anyone remember the Lego Movie, Tim? I bet you don't. Some people don't even know some people forgot it even came out. But you know why? Because goddamn Warner Brothers was too handsy. It became a thing, it was too handsy, it waited too long, and now it's ruined. That's what fucking happens. The thing is, with animated stuff like this, sure, the original was great. Sure, the technology used was cutting edge and so new. But the same thing can be said for the Lego Movie, and you saw what happened to that when a studio's hands-on. The moment that Sony realized what they had was the moment I went cautious. There's just a part of me that just knows deep down that Sony's gonna get involved. And I know some people are like, oh, they're not gonna push Miller and Lord around. And because Miller and Lord are great, but dude, Sony pushed around Sam Raimi in Spider-Man 3. Some people don't know that. Some people don't know that Sony forced Sam Raimi to change his plan so that they could put Venom in it. They forced him to. And if you can force someone with a clout like Sam Raimi to do what you want, you can damn sure push your weight on freaking Miller and Lord, okay? And I love those guys, but Sony's gonna press them. They're gonna do some stupid shit. It's all gonna go to hell. And like I said, I don't get where all this faith's coming from. What? Venom made a profit? Fucking Transformers made $1 billion. What the fuck is that supposed to mean? You gotta get both, homie. You gotta get both a great score, great audience. You gotta get the whole goddamn shebang. You gotta get money. You gotta get money, critics, an audience. You can't just get one. You can't just get money. I mean, you can, but that doesn't mean shit if you just got one of them. How do you think Marvel's gotten to this level? That's why it pisses me off. Sony CEO, we got our own universe. You don't got shit. Ain't nobody seeing Morbius. I'm gonna tell you that right fucking now. Venom made money because it was Venom. If you know Spider-Man, then you probably know Venom. Everyone knows Venom. Every edgelord kid thinks Venom has the coolest design in history. Nobody gives a fuck about Morbius. Nobody gives a fuck about vampires anymore. People care about Morbius, the living vampire. But anywho, I digress. I am excited, but cautiously, about the Spider-Verse 2 announcement. Excited, cautiously. I don't trust Sony. I never trust Sony. I never will trust Sony. The only time I trust Sony is when they say when a movie doesn't have marketing behind it, because then I know they're not paying attention to it. And when they're not paying attention to it, good things happen. When they are, you get Spider-Man event. You get Spider-Man 3 and Amazing Spider-Man 2. That's what you get. When Sony is invested, that's what you get. I don't know how everyone's just I don't know how everyone's just like letting that shit fly. Every time Sony sees a movie and they get invested into it, it turns to shit. And they still got a bunch of arrogant bastards running the program, so I'm sure it's going to be the same thing. But anywho, thank you for joining me in the Comic Game Movie Show. Please remember to like and subscribe. And are you excited for Ant-Man 2? Are you excited for Spider-Verse 2? I'm excited for both, though I admit I am very cautious about the Sony one. Ant-Man 2 I know is going to be great. Ant-Man 3 or Ant-Man and the Wasp 2, I don't know which one. I know it's going to be great. Sony, on the other hand, I'm cautious. Thank you for joining the Comic Game Movie Show. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.